Hey, it's Sunday. Something I'm going to start doing a little bit more and being a bit more consistent with is having these check-ins every week. We're doing a lot with content now, and it's so low friction for me to record something like this. It's also really good fuel for just accountability. And I did realize I have a lot going on in the business and in life, and I want to share some of that in a more organized format. As I've learned, especially recently, is that clarity comes from just taking a step back and saying, okay, what do I have to work with? I'm going to start recording sort of a company and life update jammed into these each week, the lessons that I'm learning, things that I'm excited about in the business and subsidiary, especially a lot as we head into this week, looking to start strong with a bunch of different projects and some really cool stuff with the AMA that I'm excited about too as we hit breakneck speed with everything that's going on there. So, something that's been occupying a lot of my headspace recently is building consistency on learning. I realized that kind of as a founder, a lot of my anxieties come from just not knowing. And that can be anything from financial wisdom or advice, feeling like I'm not fully advantaged and leveraged, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, and things that when I feel like I am not the smartest person in the room. I know this sounds bad. When there's things that I don't know, that creates anxiety. Getting over the friction of learning about these things. So, for example, one thing that I have started doing is using AI to lower that friction of just getting things started. So, I've created a couple of different projects here in GPT to kind of accelerate my learning. For example, one of them is a financial mentor, one of them is a real estate mentor. As I kind of take that next steps and evaluate our priorities for moving closer to Columbus, what I have to work with in terms of budget, everything that might work, and just take that step one of putting myself into that reality of actually making it happen. And it's very motivating because you start to tackle one thing that you're uncomfortable about. You start to open your mind to the possibility of knocking these things down one at a time. It's really easy to get momentum build up, and it's just encouraging. So that's something that I'm excited about. More on the personal front, in the business, we are really bouncing between a lot of different projects. We have we have the maintenance clients out in California that we work with, bouncing between both of their sites. We have rebuilt I built an entire design in Figma, and Ali has done just such a great job of really just one-to-one translating that into a Elementor WordPress site, much better than I would have been able to. And that's really kind of allowed me to focus on the parts of the business that I enjoy more, which is the design, and also free up my time to do more managerial stuff, which I'm starting to more enjoy because getting into the weeds of stuff that I before didn't know how to do is just something that I'll never have the energy for. Having other people, having Ollie on board to help me with that is really a big weight off my shoulders. So I'm looking forward to leaning into that more. We had 3 podcast recordings last week. I had 2 in one day. Matthew Olson and David Newman, both really cool people. Both the conversations went great. They had nothing but positive things to say afterwards. And yeah, I'm approaching all of these areas of life with a lot more enthusiasm because I kind of realized that I'm taking action and I no longer feel complacent. I finished the days feeling like I am accomplishing something, that I'm actually making an impact. And part of that is having more calls throughout the day. So that's a big thing too, is making sure that I have interactions and meetings with other people on my calendar, that I'm filling that social bucket that I had definitely in the past neglected. And now I have team members that can sort of take a lot of that load off my plate. And the act of just showing up for other people in the business is really something that I think a lot of people overlook, and it's helping me a ton. In terms of the things sort of subsidiary to work, the AMA is cranking. I am in a situation personally where I have a lot of creative freedom as to what next steps will look like. We've had a few people step down recently, which is really unfortunate. So the highs and lows of that are I have full access to the website, I have full access to the email list, I have full access to the membership list. And Paula and I are geared and ready to go. It's going to be very overwhelming to get this to where it is. I took a trip down to Cincinnati this week and had a really great time learning from all of their board members. Just what are they doing? What kind of events are they throwing that are helping grow the membership and adding the most value there? Because in the past, we've had this sort of situation where it's really hard to push the value of a membership when a lot of the times you can go to the events for just a one-off ticket price. And what we really need to say is, okay, you're joining for the community. You're joining for a closely knit group of professional people who have similar goals to yourself. And people just aren't seeing that because it's not currently there. And what we need to do is continue to double down on that, add more value through the membership, show up with no expectations, and let people know that they are being heard. And a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing with content, with everything that we're rolling out with our events, that's going to become more and more clear in the future. And now that we have the developer on our team, we can really make this website something that we're proud to share, and it's going to be a big lever for growth for us moving forward. I had a meeting with Paula this week, who is our president-elect, so she will be my direct superior as VP of membership. And what we started doing is we opened up an office hours. So for the first week of first Friday of every month, I just looped everybody from the board and on my calendar, and I said, look guys, this is what we're doing. I'm going to be available for your questions, going to post a little update as to the work that's being done, and just have some more conversations, get on people's calendar, create some awareness. And with the content we're rolling out too, it's going to be picking up momentum fast. So outside of work, that's something I'm very excited to continue to pursue. And yeah, and in terms of update, like I said, mentally, I'm feeling a lot better with the business. I've given myself more permission to enjoy the things that I'm doing more, regardless of how busy it is, and also taking it in and realizing that the hustle is something that I'm going to miss and enjoy one day. A bit of a transparent moment because I think this is something that I've been beating myself up over a lot. I had a meeting with a potential client last week, and I told my friend Chris this. He's the only other person I've told. But in order to humanize myself a little bit, I think it's worth telling, and anything that's hard doing is definitely worth it. So I'll share this with you guys, but I had a meeting with a potential client last week. Went awesome. And it's for a site project. And basically what I told him after the call is, okay, I'm going to get these documents for you next week. We have a call coming up Monday. I said, okay, I'll have some documentation ready. We talk about our process, what next steps look like, everything in my standard proposal. I said, you can have that before the end of the week, and then we can hit the ground running with our meeting Monday. And I sent it over, and I misspelled his company's name on the proposal. And this was for a sizable project. And no matter how good the first meeting goes, that's never a good look. And he noticed and pointed it out. So I have my work cut out for me there. Definitely not something that I'm proud to share. I'm going to be honest with you guys, but it's a very good notice to take time to zoom out. And although I've been doing a better job at that recently, that certainly was not the case. That's all I'm going to hit on in this first little episode update. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these little stream of consciousness episodes, a little bit of a look into my business, what I'm excited for, what I'm learning, and a little bit about the AMA as we continue to grow that as well. So expect these at the end of every week. Like I said, this time we're recording on Sunday, but hope this was helpful. Looking forward to sharing more, a lot to look forward to, and I will talk to you next Friday. Bye.